how are you? I hope you had a good weekend and I hope the videos turned out all right. I just want to welcome myself. My name's Iris Smith and I'm from the Flower Patch. I've had, before we start, a few new subscribers and also a few questions. Ebony would like to know where I got my glue pan from. Well, Ebony, I got it from Amazon. I have replied to your message, but I did get it off Amazon, and all it is a skillet pan where you cook your meat in. And I just pop all my glue sticks in, let them melt, and with the consistency, you have to have it, once it's melted, like honey. If you have it too low, it gets really thick, but if you have it too high, it will get really runny. Now you need to balance that out and get it in between your consistency of your glue. There is different sizes you can buy off Amazon, and there's also, you know, the bigger they are, the more expensive they are. My son bought me this, and so that was a gift from him. But I have also checked them out as well. So they're not expensive. You know, they do last, and at the end of the day, you know, you're not going to burn your hands, like you said, on the glue gun. Because I've burnt my hands many times on my glue gun. It seems to be hotter for some reason than the glue pan. So I hope that helps, my darling. And I'd want to welcome as well Tina Suter, because she has asked me, bless her, to do a funeral cross, and I promise that I will do one today for our video. It's for a dad. I'm so sorry, but you know, I will show you, my darling, not a problem. My heart's with you as well, and I'm going to show you how to do one with artificial, even though I have done many with real, but this one's going to be, I've done many with artificial as well, so I'm going to help you out, sweetheart, not a problem. Right, I've got oh, and welcome to Kathy Frobe in the United States of America from Pennsylvania. Welcome, my darling, to the UK and the Flower Patch. I hope you are enjoying the videos, and I'm so touched that you've tuned in to my YouTube channel. It's very, very touching, and I hope you have a great time watching some of the funny videos, you know, with my cat, and some where my things falling down. I don't edit or, you know, cut and edit my videos. I'm only human. I like you to see what mistakes I can make as well, as you know, like other people make mistakes. You know, I'm, again, like I say, I'm only human, so I want you to see. And then also, when I do make a mistake, I'd like you to see how I rectify it. So welcome. And I've also had a message. I've had to translate it from a Marek in Peru 2676. They've asked me, they'd love to watch my videos, but they don't speak English. And if I could, you know, put the subtitles on in their language, in Spanish. Well, I've done that, my darling, last night. I put down, you know, the Spanish, so when you go onto your subtitles, you will be able to read it. Well, I hope that it's going to work. And I've checked it. As far as I'm, you know, me and my son's had a look, it does work. So I hope that you now can read what I'm actually saying. So if not, send me another message and I'll try and sort it out again. But hopefully, you know, I've done it for you. If anybody else isn't in the English speaking, just let me know, and I can also add on a language for the subtitles, you know, in your country, what you speak in your language. So I just wanted to clarify and go through all of that. Right, for Tina, my darling, today we are going to do the cross. I've partly done it and partly not. I've only got this, which is a 16-inch cross. I'm only going to do a small one because I haven't got any larger than this. And it's just, you know, a metal frame cross, and it's raised. So if you're looking for one, put in raised metal frame cross. You can get them on Amazon. You can buy them from any, you know, eBay or anything like that. They're not expensive. I think on Amazon you can get them actually for about three in a pack for, I think, oh, I can't remember now. I looked at it this morning and all before we started. But they are cheap, let me just say that. But always make sure you get the raised ones, what are lifting up, not the flat where there's no height. So what I did on the back, I put some Oasis in. It's only thin, and you can use your oddments of your Oasis, your dried Oasis, if you've got any left. There's 2 pieces in there, and I cut, well, this is an oddment, and it was about this size. And all I did was basically press on, turned it over, pressed on where I'd like it to sit, like that, and pushed it down. So then I get the print on the back of the Oasis. Then I just cut along with my spatula. I've had to do this because I haven't got square sheets of Oasis, so I've had to use a block of Oasis. That's all it's from. Take that out, so you're left with that. Now then you push it, if you can see, in as far as it will go. And try to push it so it's slightly coming through, but not too much, so that you know it's really secure. So as you can see, my frame is sticking slightly in, but not too much. Now you do have a little bit left over at the back. So I get my spatula and run it along where the frame is, if I can show you in a better position, to cut that bit off. And I just go like that till it comes off, and then push it back down, and there you have it. And I do the same on the opposite side. Get, if I just probably take that bit off, and then I will push it in again. We don't need this, I know we don't need this. Turn it over, let me just take that end bit off. And again, just run your spatula or a knife, whatever you've got, and just run it across like that and press it down. So it is all completely flat at the back. So I don't need those. That's how you insert your Oasis into a raised cross metal frame. Let me just get rid of all this Oasis on my mat. Now, after I've done that, obviously you're thinking, well, what if it comes out? Well, it's, oh, my chair's moving again. Right, it's not going to come out. I buy these plastic mesh, they are called. You can get them in sheets, and this was a sheet. I cut it off before I started, but my sheets aren't long enough to go right to the top, so I've had to cut an extra little piece off. But they are plastic sheets, mesh sheets, and you can get them absolutely anywhere. You can get them from your craft shops, Amazon, eBay, or even if you just type in on Google, you know, plastic white mesh sheets, and they will all come up in different sizes. So what I've done, I put the sheet on my mat, and I drew with a marker pen around the shape of the cross. So I've got that. Now it only, as I say, fits to there. So I've had to cut an extra little piece off so I can place that and attach it with tie wraps or zip ties, whichever you call them, onto the frame itself. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I've got some white tie wraps because I want them to match the colour of the mesh. You can get smaller ones than this. These are just what I grabbed first, and there was, right in front of me in my drawer. So we'll start with these. And if also, I do say, if you think that the mesh holes are not big enough to go for your tie wraps to go in, there has been occasion where I've just snipped two together at the side to open it up a bit wider, the hole. So I'm going to get through there. Let me just push it, because these can be very hard, because my tie wraps, I think, can be slightly bit bigger than the hole, so I have to force it in. And all I'm doing is, if I show you this way, leveling it up at the bottom, getting my tie wrap and popping it through the frame like that, as you can see, and then I tie it together. And then I just pull, make sure it's at the bottom, it's all lined up, so then it's attached like that. I hope that you can see that, Tina, my darling. So then it ends up being attached. You do cut those off as well, and then if I show you, now I've done that one, I cut it off, and what you see there left, I turn into the oasis, so it doesn't stick on the bottom, so it's uneven and wobbly. You don't want to see that, so I just turn it in towards the oasis. And I do that in several places. I don't do it in every hole. It's just so it's attached and it's not going to move. I'm going to do one up here to stop it from doing this. And let's just get one up at the top as well. And then pop it through the wire, the frame, and then hold it, and then just tie it together. If you wish, once you've done this, you can get some felt, if you've got some felt, and cover it and glue the felt onto the back, maybe in green, or your colour any colour that you wish to put on. I have done it where I have put green on the back before, and just I've gone around again and cut out the shape of the cross, sorry, and then I have glued it on top. I haven't attached it, I've just glued it, because I don't want any more tie wraps or zip ties, to be, around. I'm trying not to use a lot. So I'm going to put one at the bottom here. I'm going here, 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 here first. So we'll do one on this side as well. I hope you can see. And again, once I've pushed it through the hole on the mesh, I'm going through the frame and bringing it out, so I've got something for the tie wrap or zip tie to attach to. And then just pull it as tight as you can, so you know it's secure. And then cut it off and turn it, like I said, in towards your oasis. So then it stops there, and again, once it's down, it doesn't rock. Let me just cut this one off. And then you just carry on, and I've gone corner to corner to start with. just keep doing that. And then again, pull it tight so you know it's in place. And just move your tie wrap in. And then now I'm going to do here, because we need some here because we don't want these loose either. And then I'm going to put maybe 1 or 2 on each side of there as well, just to keep that in place also. So let's do this side. Oh, I'm expecting a delivery today. What time are we on? They said between 11:30 and 2:30 in the afternoon. What is time to give me? Oh, it's not time yet. So if I have to stop my video, guys, again, I'm truly sorry. So that's one there. And I'm going to go in this corner and do the same. It's quite easy to do this. Because you can see that there, we need to fasten that down because we don't want it lifting up. So we'll do this one as well in this corner. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to place them where we're going to put them. And then I'll show you so you've got an idea of where I'm putting them. Again, I don't want too many. So I'll just pop them through the frame itself. You can get these frames slightly deeper. This is the, you know, all I had on me at this, you know, but I did want to show Tina, you know, how to do one. And I'm going to put another one here. Just pull it through. Again, you can get smaller tie wraps or zip ties. But my smaller ones are in black and I don't want to use black. So one there, and then also push one through the frame. Always attach it to the frame, so you've got to go under the frame. And then I'm going to put 2 in this corner here because I don't want that. I'm not going to put any on here because they're only small across here, but I want 2 in the corner. Or do I? Let's have a look. I think actually that may be all right. I do check to see if there's any gaps through there, and if it looks a bit like this side that it's not sitting, then I may attach one in that corner. But let me get the little piece that I've cut down. Oops, the daisy. And all I'm doing is putting that on there and just attaching it in exactly the same way as I've put these on as well. So it covers then all of the back. Put it upside down. Let me just grab that through. I should have got my other pliers out for this, because they can grab really well. I'm going to place them through before I start, and then I'm going to put one at the top as well to hold it down at the top. Right, so we're going through the frame on all of this where I've put the zip ties or tie wraps. There we go. And again, just fasten them up and pull them. I'll show you in a moment. Let me get me other, because I've got no nails to grab anything, me my little stubbies. So this, there we go, look at that, just like that. It does the work for me. And do the same with these. Just make sure it's in place. There we have it. And we'll go around. That's how I've got it now, where that is now sitting on the back all the way down now, so it's all nicely covered. So I'm going to attach the rest of these and then we'll cut them all off. By having these pliers, these seem to just, if you know, the flat pliers, it gives you a bit more extra strength. I've got the ones that bend as well at the top, but it gives you a little bit more strength to pull it tight and have it in place. Because sometimes I find, I don't know about yourselves guys, but I find that they're a bit slippy on my fingers. I don't know if it's all the glue that's on my fingers that's making it slippy. But it does help. That one's done. And now this one. And then I'm going to chop them all off. There we go. And then turn them facing into the oasis. There we go. So I'm just facing them upwards into the oasis. Like that. So then you can't see them on the back because your florals and everything will be hiding them on the side. So let me just put these few back in the bags. And get rid of this grainy oasis. I hope you all had a good weekend. my husband wasn't feeling too well. He suffers from ME, which is chronic fatigue syndrome, where he constantly feels all year round like he's got flu. Bless him. But he doesn't let it bother him. He does work, he does own his own business, and he does always go to work. He's a bit like me, a workaholic. Probably more than me, actually. Right. Now I've got this, which I purchased, but I can also make it myself. Ribbon. If I ever run out of a colour, I mean, I haven't got every colour, but if I want a different colour and I haven't got it, then I do make it myself. And I just, where the stitching is, I just put staples in myself. But I've got it in blue, so you can either put greenery around there. You don't have to have ribbon. It's an option. Some people like it with the ribbon on. So I'm going to put a little bit of ribbon on, but I haven't got a lot of depth, as you can see, to play with. So the flowers in here, and that's another thing that I've forgotten. One moment, guys. Let's have a look. Where is that? So to have your flowers in the centre, this is another option as well. What I do, so that there, so let me just measure by eye, looking down at it, there. You can attach this or glue it onto the frame to make it slightly higher. And attach that so your florals in the centre can be stood higher than what the florals are here. So then that becomes noticeable. So that's your centrepiece. I usually glue it on. Or if you feel that you need, that's another thing. Oh gosh, I should have got all this out before I started. Right, I've got some white pot tape. So if you feel that you may need a bit of white pot tape and you don't think that the glue is going to hold it, I'm sure I've used one. Oh gosh, oh yeah, I've got it. I've got some clear what pot tape to hold it on, because it's white at the back. Oops, a daisy. Then you're not going to be wanting to see green tape down the back. So you can, like I say, cover it with a felt. I will do that later on. I just wanted to show you, you know, how, or they give you the options of what to do. Oh, aren't these new rolls a pain? You never know which side to peel it. Oh my good gracious me. So I always say, you know, just invest in some clear pot tape as well. There we go. As you can see. So it's not going to be where you can see it. It comes in very handy. So all I would do is just sit that on top like that. Oh, hello. My bookkeeping is where the keys are, where we drop the keys. Did you pick up the pennies? Yeah. Okie dokie, darling. Thanks. That's my youngest son. He's going to take in my accounts to my accountants for me. So, there we have it. And all I'm going to do is at the top here, if I can just get to show you. Oh, one moment. Hold it there. I don't want the oasis to move. And then just go round. Let me just bring that bit there. And then just go round with your clear pot tape. Oh, that one doesn't want to play games, so I'll go round twice. Just pull on it a slight bit and then cut it off underneath. Just stick that. There we go. So now that is holding your oasis in the centre, but I will do it on the other side as well. Gosh, I can't see where the tape's been. Oh my gosh, I've got to feel. Oh, is that it? Oh, here we go. Oh, got it. And then I'm going to do exactly the same with this piece. Go under. Just bring that over. And go over. Just pull it with a bit of force so you know it's going to stay there. And if you're still quite weary about that, you know, I'll show you another tip. Get a piece of floral wire. Sorry, I've just picked up a piece of floral wire. Bend it like a U shape, like that, to whichever depth it is that it will go in. Cut it off. So you're making, you could use a moss pin if you've got them long enough, but these are thinner. I don't want the moss pin to take all the room. And just place it over the top so it goes in and it's there, look. So it's going into the oasis underneath. So that's another way of holding it down. So I'll do one at the top again. Just see, yeah. And I'm going through the tape. So there you have it. So it's now held into place without coming off. So that's another way of securing it as well. So I hope that helps. There's several ways to do it, but you know, if you still feel that it doesn't, you're not sure about your pot tape, if it's not holding as much as you like, then put in some little pins and that will hold it as well. Sorry, I've not got my hair up today. I don't really like it down because it gets in my face. But I've only realised that I haven't put it up when I came in here and took this off my wrist. But hey ho. Right, again, we've got our ribbon. I'm just going to quickly go through what we've got. Let's move all my tools out of the way. I know you, me by now, I don't like things around me. So I've just put all these, I've got some oddments as well. I'm not sure what I'm going to use, but I have got things out to use, but I'm not sure which greenery I want to use or anything. But I do have the Fortunia leaves with the white veins in, where you could easily put one in either corner, you know, of here for your flowers. So I've got a few. I always bring more than I need. It's just for backup. I've also got some little wispy bits in to add a little bit of texture. Obviously, I'm not going to put, if I've got one spare. There we go. I've just ripped that off. I'm not going to put them in so they're sticking up like that, because it's longer than the cross. You're not going to see it. So I may cut them down. I'm not sure again if I want to use them. But I do have some hydrangeas with blue stilby, and they've got their own, and these are push-ups as well, they've got their own little bit of foliage. So I'm not sure if I want something coming out, because once we put all the flowers in, it won't be tiny like this, it will be bigger. So I have got some of those. I've also got a few oddments of my royal blue roses, the foam ones, which I may just put a couple there. I may even actually stick a couple, you know, one down here as well. I've also got out my beautiful ranunculus in a very light blue, not just sticking to dark blue. I want to add a light blue to it also, different shades. And again, I brought out my grey blue oddments of my blossoms that also would sit lovely on there. Now I've got some leatherleaf fern, what could also go on there. I mean, these are just a bundle of oddments, but they're more than enough to use, you know, for the flowers. And I have brought out just a few bits because I know they're long. I may want to stick one at the side here and one at the top. I'm not sure about those just yet. But I've also brought out my variegated ficus, which I want to use as well for some foliage. There seems to be a lot. It's just the case of that I just want to get different variations out, just so I could have a look what would look nice. Now I've got the asparagus fern. Now that's very soft, and it gives a soft touch to any arrangements, and you know, a comfortable touch. It's like a comfy, to me anyway, you know, it just gives that comfortable softness look. And to any, especially these, I used it a lot, I really did. And I've also got my Salal out, because I'm not sure if I want to use the Fortunia, so I just got the Salal out as backup. And also I've got out just a few bits of fern. Again, I'm not sure what I want to use in, so I've got some oddments of the rubber fern from the company Leaf, which I adore, and I add a bit of lightness, sorry, not likeness. And I've got these. Now I'm not sure whether I want to put the white heather in, or the green heather, or even this. Isn't that outstandingly beautiful? I'll keep looking at it and thinking I do like that. That would look lovely. And again, you know, I've only got bits of flowers out. It seems ever such a lot for such a small thing, but it's not that I'm putting them all in. I just, when I work on things like this, I get a different variations out, because you may think, oh, let's do blue, and then it just doesn't, something's amiss. So I get different types of flowers out, different, you know, shades or colours. So I have got the white roses out instead of the blue. I've got the blue, I may put those in the centre and then work the bits of the blue around it. And I've also brought out just 3 small stems of my white ranunculus as well, that may go around the bottom just as a bit of decoration. And lastly, well, not lastly, I've got out, now these are more like a baby blue, a duck egg blue, so I'm not so sure I'm going to use these, but just the blossom, again, just in a different shade. And our main flowers that we have, I cut these yesterday, I trimmed them down, I put small picks in because they didn't have any picks, so I had to attach my own picks. Our carnations, now they are the base flowers that will go up and down here. So I've put small picks in, I've cut them off, and the picks are 1 inch. That's all they are, because I haven't got a lot to play with. They may sit up slightly, but the flowers on here will sit up higher than the ones on the bottom, because that again is your focal point. So if you will just push those there. I put in, I think 35 here, but we don't need 35. I know that for a start. Not on the small one like this. If we did a slightly bigger one, then perhaps. I have done them where I've had to use 120 something. So I have done them. So if you want ribbon on, then I always, I mean, people have got their own different preference. Start in a corner with the beginning, because you don't want to see it on the end and then finish on the end where it's going to open. So I like to start in a corner out of the way, and all I'm going to do is grab my moss pins and I'm going to place it on the oasis where the stitch, just above the stitching, and place that in like that. And I'm going to go all around. I don't leave a great big gap and then put another one in. I'm very, very, picky with these. It's not that I don't like them, it's that I don't want them to come out or look gapey. I like to put, it doesn't matter to me how many I put in of the moss pins, as long as I know that it's secure for the loved one. Because again, like I've said before in my other videos, when it comes to funeral flowers, I don't know what it is about me. I seem to put more, I mean, don't get me wrong, I put a lot of love and attention into everything I do. But it's just something from the heart that I like to get these as perfect as possible. Because it's the flowers that are saying, a final goodbye, to their loved one. And so they don't want it looking a mess. And if you think that, it's catching on any of the frame, just pull it back out and then do it again. So usually I do miss one, or maybe two, miss one, put a moss pin in there. That is how very particular I really am. And I'm not going to cut and edit this while I get it all done. I don't see the point. What I do, I'm just going to put it flat so I can measure that it's all at the same angle. This is how fussy I am. And to me, I spend, when it's funeral flowers, a lot of time trying to perfect it. Now that zip tie needs to be pushed in, that's it. So I'm going to go over that zip tie because I don't want that showing, so I'm going to put a moss pin over it to hold it in. And don't worry that you can see the moss pins at the moment. Once you start putting your floral in, that will all hide. I don't know if that bag's in your way, guys, and all of this floral. Do I get my turntable? Oh, maybe slightly higher. I just wanted it flat because, again, where you have the fold on where the stitching is, that's the fold that you should be putting above the stitching your moss pins in, not actually on the longest bit. So I always like to lay it flat and make sure that the top of the ribbon is all around the similar height, so then I know it's all level. And then once we've gone to the end here, we just bring it round. I don't cut it. Some people cut it. Now, obviously, if it's a heart shape or something like that at the point, then I would. But because it's quite open here, it's not small, we can carry it on, or it's not a letter for a tribute like the word dad and you've got the D, then, or, you know, or the A, then you may have to cut it in several places around the word, the letters. But with this, no. And again, I'm just pushing it in, and then I'm going to follow it coming round. Right, let me just go to the camera to see if you can see what's on my board. Again, I'm very fussy. Yes, I'll just bring it down slightly. I don't think that's even moved any. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that you could see, Tina, that what I was actually doing. You can buy these again, as I say. You know, if you just go on to Google and search for a funeral ribbon, it will come up. I mean, I got this off my wholesalers, but I have searched for it on Google. I'm a bargain hunter. I wanted to see if I could get it cheaper than my wholesaler. So that's the reason I know you can get it. You can get it in different lengths as well. I can't remember what length this one is. So 10 meters, which is 30 foot. So, and they call this, oh, it's just blue ribbon. Actually, this, I've got the tag, comes from a company called Spice Designs, and they call this the colour Admiral Blue Ribbon, size 10 metre pack quantity. So there you go. That's the brand name where it comes. Spice Designs. So if you're looking for some, Tina, my darling, have a look on there. Right, and this one here. I'm going to go there. I like to get these out on my bench, these moss pins, because they all tangle together. And I'm just loosening them up. And as I'm coming up to the top, let me just check that that is into the oasis, and I'm going to go over that tie wrap to hold that into place. I don't want it showing. And as I come to the top, I put the moss pin right in the corner to keep that edge sharp. So I will place one right in. And then I will bend it. This is where you could, I'm going to show you how you can do it when you cut it. So I've gone to there and I've placed it here. So I'm cutting where I finish. Oopsie daisy. So that now ends like that. So that, and that's your ribbon also on the back as well. So then if you want to start, let me just cut that bit off and straighten it. Then you start and you place it on top. It doesn't matter if it's overlapping that one, you must go in the corner and follow the cross all the way around. You can't, because if you started there, now in my eyes, that's not very professional if you started there, because then you can look on the back and you've got an hole right there and you don't want to see that hole. So I always, you can either cut it at an angle if you don't want to put it over the top, but I don't mind putting it over the top, because at least then I know there's not going to be any gap. And then again, I will follow it around. I tend to miss one and then put a thing, moss, I'm going to call it thingy, moss pin. Oh my good gracious me. Now on the corner here, let me just make sure that zip ties up. I'm going to go over and in at an angle, because we are on the corner, to hold it in like that. That bit of ribbon, you know what I'm going to do with that bit of, I'm going to glue that down. I'm going to put a little bit of glue underneath to keep that down, because I am going to be putting felt along the bottom. I don't like, even if the moss, the pot tape is sticking up. That's how fussy I am. I think it's the way that I was taught as well, because we was always taught, you know, and she was quite thorough about it as well, the tutor. Never, ever, ever leave anything sticking up what should be sticking down. She was very thorough like that. I'm going to cut it again, so you can see I cut it like that, and then I will place it in, so then on the back it is all covered, no gaps, and even where we've gone there, there's no gaps across here either, because I always say, you know, for somebody's loved one who's passed, you've got to show them that you can do something exceptionally well, you know, and lovely. I mean, I don't judge people, but I have seen funeral flowers. What I did for a friend, my sister's friend, and I did her one, and then she took it and took photographs, and then showed me somebody's at the side. And with the flower, if I can just show you, she had the word friend, was it aunt? And she just stuck one flower like that all the way up. That was it. You could see down the sides, there wasn't no foliage, and she paid quite a lot of money for it. And I know it's not, I'm not, you know, don't judge, but like I say, for people who have passed away, especially, that wasn't good enough for me. It really wasn't good enough. I thought that was awful. That poor, poor deceased person and their family. So I am very, very particular. I'm very meticulous. That's what somebody said to me on a video the other day, and they are right, very, very right. They love it because I'm very meticulous in what I do. I just want the best for people. You know, I want them to have the, you know, what they pay for, really, as well, to the best of my ability. Right, we're coming round the top corner. So I'm going to place one in the corner, so I know it's going to not gape. And then I'm going to do one in this opposite corner as well. So again this, and then I'm going to cut here, because I'm coming to the corner. Because I've started cutting it, I'm carrying on. I haven't just shown you how to cut it and then just go around without cutting it. Once I start something, I do carry it on. I don't do a bit of this and a bit of something else. No. I do keep what I've done going all the way around. So now I've cut it and shown you, then I do it on everything else, cut it in the corners. So it won't be long now, guys, before we finish. And I don't put any moss on here because the flowers are going to cover it. Oops, a daisy. And I'm going to place one right here. In fact, because I'm going to do it again and start from there, I would double it over and then put just one pin in instead of two, because you'll feel it underneath and you want that little bit of room for, oops, a daisy, your flowers. There we go. I love putting the ribbon on, if I'm being really honest. As soon as I start doing funerals, you know, if I'm not videoing, I go into a different world, I think when I do my florals, it doesn't matter, you know, especially when I'm not on camera, I'm always thinking of the customer, always. You know, because then I also think as well, what would I like, you know, if somebody did that for me? You know, I'd like somebody to be thinking about the customer, well, me, if there was a customer, you know. Right, that is needed to cut. There. So that is our blue ribbon finished. And I'm going to finish off just coming round here. And I'm going to place that one in there to hold it. And then place another one here in the centre. Like that, guys. And that's another thing. I tend to get my brush. I don't like any oasis on them. I will get my brush and brush it all off. But that is your cross from the front, with it all fastened in, and then from the back, that is what you have as well. So once you put your florals in, you will see some of, or should I say this way, some of the ribbon. You will still see that. I don't hide it. I didn't put one in the corner here. I don't like to hide it. I do like to see, even if it's a little bit, as long as you can see it. Right, now let's put these moss pins away. Right, now we are going to start with our main base flowers, which are our carnations, which are very popular to use. If you're doing, like, you know, the traditional, this is a traditional way, then it's usually carnations. So I'm doing it really short, the stem, dipping it in my glue, and I'm going at an angle in on the first side. These are quite big, these carnations, so I have to be wary. I just want to see just the edging of the ribbon. I'll get a few out. I should have had I did have smaller ones than these, but these are the only ones that I could find at this moment in time over the weekend. If I ordered some more, I wouldn't have got them for today. And then I'm going to put one at this side as well, because you don't want because what I'm doing, because it's a frame, I'm not going in the centre because these are quite big, so I'm putting 2 either side, but I'm making sure the level at the bottom, one's not higher than the other, and then I'm just going to bring them up. You're not going to need many, again, because I say they are quite big, but I don't like just like do one in one piece of frame where it's sectioned. If I have to put 2 or 3 in the same piece, I will, you know, because I don't like gaps. You don't want to be seeing gaps. The customer doesn't want to be seeing gaps. So that, if you've got gaps, then go back at the end and fill it up with with the same flower that you've used, because it's not nice to see gaps. So I'm going relatively, if you can see, close to this one, and it's going to fluff it up, and I'm putting it in at an angle, but it's right leaning over the top of that one, so I know I'm not going to get any gaps. And just fluff it up, and then get your other and do the same on the opposite side. I'm not putting too much glue on either. And then I'm going to go in at an angle at the right opposite where I've placed that one. And again, and just look, yes. So it's like that. And then I'll place one. So I've got at least a little bit, about an inch of this flower leaning on top of that one. So then again, that's where it'll be placed, if you can see, like that, over the top. So it's leaning on that one. So no gaps will be there. But also make sure that you've got enough where it's going to be like that. I've seen some of the online. I had a look last night. I even showed my husband of some crosses. And some of them look like they're starving. You know, no disrespect. People have got their own way, but I like them to look fluffy and, you know, really fluffy. I don't like them to look thin. I could easily just put one flower there and then that'd be that. But that doesn't look full to me. I like them full and fluffy. That's my preference. I wasn't taught to do them full and fluffy. I was taught not to have gaps, but I wasn't taught to have them all fluffy. But I like them like that. I think it gives more value and it makes it look really, really pretty. Again, you can just see this on the side, but I'm all right with that because once you have it flat down, you'll see the ribbon on the side anyway. It's not that I'm hiding it, and either on the other side, and you can still see it, because we're not wanting to see all of it. This is just like a border, you know, to finish it off around the edge. It's edging, that's all it is. Your main focal point will be the flowers. So if you think it doesn't look fluffy enough, then add a few more alongside it. And again, I'm going to go right here, so it's leaning on top of the other one. So that then covers any gaps that may be there. And I'm going to do the same here. You see how fluffy it's becoming? And to me, that gives you more value, you know, and it looks better. You know, it looks like you've put well, I know this sounds awful, sorry everybody, but it looks like you've put a bit more effort into it. I don't like saying that word because everybody puts the utmost efforts into everything. But that's how I look at it in my eyes. So I'm sorry if that sounded wrong. I apologise. Again, I'm not a judgmental person. So as we're coming up here, that is now touching the centerpiece of the oasis. So 2, 4, 6, 8. There's only 10 up that piece. Because again, it's not a very big one cross, but I just did want to show Tina how I do it. And then again, place that one. So now that all looks tight and flush and nice and fluffy in the center, in the main, you know, main piece of the cross. So then now I'm going to do these sides as well. So let's get, we'll probably want 4 there, so 4, 8. Right, we'll see. Maybe want 12 or 14. If I just cut some down. Yes, I do like, I really enjoy doing these. And see, another thing that I do, when I do them, I have music on. Not, because I do like rock music. Even though I sing classical and opera, I do like rock music. I have nice romantic music while I'm doing it. And it puts me, you know, in a lovely feeling. So that's that one where we're doing the same thing as we did up here. 1 in this front bit. We're not putting any in the centre. 1 in here and 1 in here. And then another one. So it's leaning on the top. And it's not leaving any gaps. I have done funeral flowers where it's all different flowers along down here. It's not carnations. Excuse me. And I know I've got this, which I'm going to maybe extend the cross. Let me look, because it is quite tiny. I'll consider it. I may extend the cross at the sides. And I've got 4 in on this side. Nice and fluffy. You feel like you could lie on it. It's not that I'm silly, but it's so like, it's just fluffy and it's lovely. And again, I'm going to start from here in the corner and bring that one close up. And then next to it on that side. So look how lovely and close they are together. Once I've put these 2 in, I'll show you the effect with this and then this. Like I say, you could put, instead of the ribbon, you could put foliage around it, or you could even add foliage in as well as the ribbon. But some people like to see the colour of the ribbon. See, I always tend to ask the customers. Do they want ribbon and foliage, or just ribbon? Because people have their own preferences on what they like. I do have some people who actually come with a picture what they've seen on the internet or things like that. But I do have to say I can do something in my style, but I won't copy. I really won't copy, guys. And I'll show them the flowers that I could put in, you know, and the sort of design that I'd make. But I won't copy people's designs, because that's what makes people unique, their own designs. So I have to make a point of that to people. So that's what we have, how fluffy it looks. And even from the sides, you've got where you can still see your ribbon. Again, I am meticulous, and I will wipe all of that down. I will go around with my paintbrush and I will get rid of any bits that I can see. Any. But I just want to show you what it's looking like. And the flowers aren't coming over at the back either, so it's not like they're hiding this. You know, I always keep within, you know, the ribbon on either side. But it's looking lovely and fluffy. So we've just got this top bit to do, and then that will be all our carnations put in. So again, I'm only cutting the stems because the oasis is really, really thin. I'm only cutting them, but I'm putting them in at an angle. I'm not just sticking them down, I'm sliding them in at an angle. Get that blue string off. Let's just move that. And again, I'm starting from near the centre. So you have, oops a daisy. So it's starting from there and then working outwards. Because sometimes if you do start, which I have done many times, like with this, started from here inwards. Sometimes you know, it can be, depending on what you're actually doing, harder to start from the outer side and work in. So that was one of the things I was taught, work from in to out, and then it'll be easier for yourself, so you won't be struggling trying to get something in and messing any of the other flowers, you know, up. So yes, I was taught that. Isn't it funny how you taught even just simple little things like that, and they're right though, aren't they? So we're going to go in at an angle on here as well. So when I put these two in at the top, I have to make sure that there's no gaps, not just here or in the centre, but down here where they join with the others. Because, and I always, you know, check if I find a gap, and I will get a smaller carnation and fill it in, or the same size. But then if I put the same size in, you can see then it starts, if I have one in the corner, to become a square. So you must try and go for a smaller carnation, even a bud, you know, a small artificial bud, and just place that in and cover it. That's why I make sure that I overlap the flowers, so I don't have to search for a small bud just to fill in. Because sometimes I've noticed when I've done that in my younger days, the shape starts to change. So I tend to stick with how I was taught. Yes, we're going to have 3 on this top one, 3 either side. Just make sure it's coming in again to overlap, because I don't want no gaps. So we've got 2 left to put in. And again, as you can see there's all that, but because these are quite big, again, I'll do it from this side. I'm going in at an angle. I'm not just sticking it down. So I'm going in and making sure it's overlapping this as well. I'm sliding it, and that's also now covering this bit, the ribbon. So I'll do the same with this one. Just going to straighten the flower how it should be, fluff it up. Do the same on here. And I don't want them one longer than the other on the end. So as you can see, I've made sure that they're both the same length, you know, finishing at the same point all around, even on the edges, on the bottom as well. So now we are left with the little bit in the middle for your main flowers. So we don't need no more carnations. So let's just put those over there as well and get rid of all these little bits. Just make sure. I like to check, guys. I'm very, very fussy with funeral flowers. Very, very fussy. Super. Again, you can still see your ribbon. I haven't hid it because it's still on show where you can see, and once it's placed on the floor, you can still see your ribbon around. So that is like I say, your edging. So, flowers. Again, there is a lot here, but what I'm not going to put them all in, obviously. I just want to use as, you know, to see which ones would look better. I don't know about, let's get the whites together and the blues. Yes, it's going to be the blue. I want to cut this short. Let me just cut it off there. I'm going to cut 3. And put those there as well. Now we're going to have 12 o'clock, or in your eyes, well, I'll put it here because this is the top. 12 o'clock, 20 past. If I just show you, I'll place them there. And then 22. So there are your flowers. Let me see. The peony. What do I put? The ranunculus. Yeah, I'm going to put one of these in the centre. So let's start with that. And again, I'm not cutting this. The stem on here is only 1.5 inch. That is all. Because I want this lifting higher. So I really do. So I'm going to put that in the centre. And that's how it's going to sit. Because this is our focal point now. You know, this is our base, but these are our focal point. Let me stick this in. Because these come out very easily, these stems. Wipe off any excess glue underneath. We don't want that on show. In fact, let me put the greenery in. Oh, I can feel it on me again, guys. Right, Now I think the conifer is going to be too, oh, I don't know. Let me get that. See, this is what I tend to do as well with the funeral ones. Now, I could cut off one. Let's just pull one off. I think that'd be better. And have a bit of decoration going down there. You may think, oh my gosh, that's a bit silly. Trust me. I've done it where people want the decoration hanging over the bottom as well. And at the top. So we don't want that anymore. Let me get my fern. We definitely want the fern. Let's glue that in. I can tell sometimes when things are loose. I don't know why, it's just become an habit. I tell you, I'm getting crazy or weird. Something about me. It's probably why my husband loves me, because I'm different. Right. Excuse me, everyone. I'm placing these to start with because I don't want them to put them in and for them to look odd. And I may have to stand up and look above it as well, guys. Bear in mind, these do bend, so they will be lifted up. Some people like simplicity when it comes to funeral flowers, and then there's some people who like full on. I like either. I really do. But at the end of the day, it's not what I want. So again, I take that into consideration. So again, 12 o'clock, 22, 20 past. And I'm just placing these. Now here we go. Let me turn. So that may need one under it. I don't think I'm putting these, they're too big. What are they? Yeah. No, I'm not putting those in. I want it to be elegant and also, you know, not too much. Definitely. It's definitely these. I'm not putting, no, they're out. You don't want those in. Let me look. Is it the white? No, they're too limey. Now I'm going to hang on to those. Or do I put my Floral? See, now I'm going to hang on to those. But I do want these blue peonies as well. So I want the bigger heads. So let me take the bigger heads off. I can use that one down there actually. Sit there. Don't want those. They're out my way. So then that will go there. There. And up there. Yes. I just want to see with these. I don't want to add. I'm not adding those. Oh no. They don't blend in very well. You see, I just no, not even those. You see, this is how I am with funeral flowers. I may add some sticking up of those. So it's those, maybe those. They're beautiful on me. Definitely those. No. 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 See, this is how I go. I had to stand above because I needed to see the room, the volume I've got, and plus I don't want to overdo it with greenery because it's such a small one. Absolutely filthy. It's small and I really don't want to overpower it with greenery like I would if I was doing a wreath or anything like that. This, no. I'm very fussy. I don't even want the white roses in either. Or those. Could I put one of the blue ones down here? Yes, I might put that blue one as well down there. So we'll keep that. But I don't want the white roses. We've got lots of white. So they can go. So now what we are playing with. So now I've got a relatively good idea of where I want to place things. I'll now remove them all off and then start gluing them in. So let's get this fern anyway in. And with this, I'm going to just place in diagonally because I do want it to slightly stick up and give it movement. I don't want too much of it up because we don't want it, it's not an arrangement where, you know, it needs to be noticed in the house. This is an arrangement that needs to be noticed for a loved one, and you also need to see what's underneath as well. So I'm going to just put a pick in this, just a small one again. Save that for the others. Now I'm going to place that underneath. So then that has got a darker colour, but it's not sat on the flowers flat because we want it to give it movement, you know, and a volume. We don't want, like these are placed, if I can move those, they are placed flat. Now, they look nice from above, but you need to bring them up slightly, not too much. You don't want them like, if I can show you with this spare piece, you don't want them like that, sticking up like that. You know, you can have a little bit sticking up, but you don't go higher than what this is. You try to keep around. If you've got wispy bits, then that's okay if you go slightly higher, but don't overdo it. Like I'm going to be putting in this asparagus fern and I'm sticking that up, but I'm going to cut them right down there. So they will stick up just like that. No more. So let's get the rest of these in. Let's put little picks on these and get the conifers in. If people obviously want a flat looking funeral cross or anything like that, then that's great, you know, but that's what the customer's asking for. But my opinion is I like to see a little bit of movement in the arrangement. I mean, I have done flat, but not many. People are wanting it, you know, to see that fluffy, flowery you know, lovely display. They want to see it. They don't want to see it flat down on the ground, so to speak. And what I'm doing with these, I'm moving these petals out the way of there, and I'm putting these conifers in the side. I'm not going on the top. I'm placing them in the side and going in at a diagonal position. And I do the same. Where's the other one? Oh my good gracious me. Right, have I gone silly again? I want one at the top. What? Wow. Have I dropped it? No, because I've cleaned up, so there's nothing on. Oh well, let's get another. I'll probably find it. Now that'll irritate me. Oh, what have I done with that? So I'm gonna. I did pull off 4. I'm sure I did. Probably not. Probably not. Yeah, so your white carnations are only your, basically like your surface. Your arrangement, your focal point is here. So people are really going to look at this. Not so much these, but they will look, their eye will be drawn straight to there, to the centre. Remove any glue around the stem or on your fingers. Yeah, I noticed on one of my videos the other day again. Which one was it that I was doing? Here, this Christmas one, and I was calling the ranunculus peonies. Gosh, I said to my husband, why do I keep going wrong? And he just said, I don't know. Nothing more, I don't know. And I called it peony. Why, I don't know. So I've placed in the conifers like that, up and across and then down. I may be placing one over the top there, a blue rose. So I'm going to now put in our fern. And again, these are going above the conifer from the side. Again, I'm pushing them quite far down because I don't want them too far over. I know the conifer is, but that is the boundary that I won't go past. And again, just lift them slightly up so they're hanging. Just do the same on all sides. Just give it that little movement. I think that one wants to bend down slightly. That's better. And again, I'm going in from the side. In fact, I'll put that one on the top. I'm pushing that one in a bit further, and I'm just manipulating the tip of the fern, because again, I don't want it sticking vertical. So then that is what we have. Some people just keep it compact around the centre and don't have a lot of foliage. I like to just, it's like spreading the wings, spread the angel wings. That's how I've always sort of like, that, I don't know the word for it, but that's how I look at it. You know, the flight of the angel is going up into heaven. That's the sort of way I look at things when it comes to funerals. So I'm producing wings to lift them, you know, into the heavens. That's just my way of interpreting it, should I say. Right, now let's get our asparagus leaves. And again, like I said, I am not putting these high up. I'm taking the bit of the bottom off of the asparagus just to give me a little bit of a stem, which is 1/2 inch. So that will sit here on this corner, and I'm going to place, so it's not going too high up, and I'm going to do one around there in each corner. See, that one's got a stem on it now, and then I'm going to place and again, this is to add your texture, your foliage a bit more. I don't like that piece. And I'm not putting a lot of glue on these, guys, because they are tiny stems. Just one more. And I've got 2 slim ones here as well. So in fact, actually that one should have been on the opposite side. Sorry guys, I'm just pulling it out and removing the glue. I don't know what made me forget that. But if I have a slim one like this here, then I will mimic it and put it in the opposite position so it's balanced. Now that one's more fluffy and this one's more fluffy, so they will go in opposite direction as well. Again, we need to keep it balanced. We don't want it to look odd. And the fluffy there. Let's take that bit of glue off. So that is what we have with this little bit of asparagus fern inserted in as well. So don't they look like angel wings? You know, the movement of flying. Oh, it's me. I just like things like that. That's why I love doing funerals. Now, we do have these. Now, these should come off. In fact, I don't want a lot of these. I don't want the big full bush together. So I'm separating them. And I'm going lower down with these. These aren't going to be as high as what these are, but I'm going in between. Put it in at an angle. Let's just twist that where it belongs. And this, with it being a different colour, it's adding just a different, more, you know, movement. Now I've took that off, I need to, in the centre where I've just cut it off, there's nothing to stop these leaves from popping off. So all I do is just bend it over like a letter upside down, or a letter N if you like, and then press it, then push those back up to the top, and then press this bit onto the main stem. If you can't do it with your fingers, that's why I have these flat ones. I use them. Oops, I've just cut it. Well, I did use them. Oh, Iris, here we go. Right, I've taken that out. I wouldn't leave that in for nobody. Let's get a new one. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, aren't I daft? I don't know why I've glued it. Take that glue off. There we go. Here we go. We'll do it again. So the bit in the centre, turn it upside down and press onto the main stem. And if we haven't, get it and just push it together with a flat piece. And then it doesn't even look like it's been bent over. So yeah, it does work. I don't know what made me cut that. I'm going to go opposite here. And just move the... I'm going to push it as far down as possible again, because I don't want them lifting as high as what these are. Let me just look. Right, I want just one more of these stems, and then I don't want those. And we'll do the same with these as well. You can even bend them over with your hands. You know, it just... But I like to sometimes, when it's funeral ones, do it really tight. Like that. So it just doesn't look like it's an actual... It just looks like it's an actual stem that's not doubled over. And again, I'm going to go over here and push it right into the top of the neck. I keep waiting to hear from a delivery. I can hear vans and things like that. And you know what that also reminds me of when I look at it? Star. The star in the night, in the heavens. Isn't that lovely? Oh, that's what I mean. I go all dreamy. One moment, guys. I think that's my delivery. I'm going to have to just pause it. No, guys, it wasn't my order. So I nipped into the house quickly and asked my son if he could just make me a cup of coffee, which he has. And he brought me a cake, which I've just eaten a chocolate cake. So you can see chocolate around my chops. So sorry. But oh my God, it was yummy. Oh, I just love chocolate. Anyway, let's carry on. I've told him to listen out now because both my sons have got, well, my oldest son, his days off of work is Monday and Friday. And my youngest son, he works different shifts, so today is his day off. So I've asked him to keep an eye out for the door in case he goes to the door first. Sometimes they call here and knock on my shed, so, or workshop. So, and then plus I've just put things away what I didn't need, or some things, but left the foliage because it's the mess. It's the mess. Anyway, let me just have a sip. That chocolate cake, oh my good gracious me. I think it's called the Cadbury's Swiss cake, where it's got all chocolate bits on top, all chocolate covering, and then inside it's like sponge, chocolate cream, sponge, chocolate cream, and it's like a, oh gosh, what's the word? Lines going down. I can't remember what it's called, but it was nice. Oh, and that coffee's lovely too. Right, sorry about that, everybody. So, I'm hanging on to these. I've put my Floral away. Before I started the video, I tested it. The Floral didn't look exactly right. I've kept the Fortunia because it's got white in it. And obviously I've kept the blossoms and the blue roses and the ranunculus, the blue ranunculus. So we're going to put in our roses. And I've cut this one and then realised, oh, the video. Now I'm going to place this one here. I'm going to part a bit of the flower, the carnations, and I'm going to sit that at the bottom. Now this is where I may get a little bit of the asparagus fern or cut a bit of this fern off and just have a little bit coming out from the side. Or actually I might get some ruscus. That might be a good idea, because I can't just leave that on its own. That looks unfinished. If I could show it you that way, it looks unfinished and I don't like that. It's got to have something with it. So I want to put in, because these blue ones are going to go, if I place them, oh, that one's a bit too long. Just going to sit them slightly. I could have them like that. Let me just see. Let me just move it a moment, guys. Oh my good gracious me. Oh. Yes. I'm going to have it like that, as I said, 12 o'clock, 20 past and 22, the blue roses, as you are looking at it as well. So that is how I'm going to place those. So let's get these in first. And again, I'm not pushing these right down to the bottom because we want a little bit of height. So it's going to go like that. And then at 20 past. And then at 22. And I'm trying to keep them relatively all the same height. The only one that I've not put height on is the bottom one. So that's what we have at this moment in time. I can see a glue string. Why is it when I always bring the camera, things close to the camera, that's when I see it? So I can't see any more. I'm looking for gaps in the carnations as well. Even though I've checked, I still tend to look. Right, I want to bring this ranunculus just slightly in. If I could show you what I mean. And then bring it underneath. I think underneath, what do I have it slightly at the top? I think at the top. So it's co-joining and going over. So we're going to put the ranunculus in. We want a bit of length going down. And just slightly tilt it so it doesn't look like it's too far up. Just bring that so it's sitting on top of the fern. Just going to put these on that one. So these are the bigger ones. They're the ranunculus. So I'm going to bring that one. If I just place it, coming across onto that one. Then in between these roses, I'm going to place the blue ones. Excuse me. Let me just check that I'm happy with that. I may want to use them slightly as, oh, I don't know about those. Let's try. Yes, it's got to be those. It's not those. Because we've already got the ranunculus in the centre. I'm going to actually see if I can twist that. Oh my gosh, that's hard. Like that. better. We've had the weather forecast. Oh, I bet you don't know what we've got again. Rain and thunderstorms and lightning all week again. Back to our British weather, which is rubbish. Oh. And you sit looking outside thinking, oh, you just want to go out in the garden. No, not here. So I'm bringing those. Let me just, let me take the elastic band off, because these are my oddments again. You know, use your oddments instead of chopping into new stems. But I can get them all off. And I'm just, you know, bringing them out slightly off the blossom. And that one a bit more. So they've widened up instead of being compact. I'm going to place that one there as well. I'm going to place them. I think I'm going to put some stems in, some picks, because these aren't very good. Because they came off of the actual big, oh, go on, stem. So I'm putting them with their own picks on for more strength. That's got two on, I don't want to. Do the same with this one. Just put a bit of glue on, push it in at the bottom and wipe your glue, excess glue off. I'm just manipulating these by just turning them over and just pressing them. I'm not pressing them too much, because in the past I have actually snapped them by putting too much force on them. So I'm only just doing it lightly. Even if it means I've got to do it again, I'll do it again, as long as it doesn't snap. Right, that's too long, this stem now. So and I'm going in between the roses with these at an angle again. And I'm not sticking these out far. I'm trying to now start covering up the oasis so it's not visible. Because the more you go out, you know, further out and make it look wispy, the more you're going to end up putting in, because you've got all your oasis still showing. I've got that one. In fact, do I put that there? Let's have a look. Yeah. We use that as depth. So these blossoms are looking like they are surrounding the ranunculus in the centre. I need to put that in. So I'm going to place this. I might need a longer stem actually on this, because what I'm doing, I'm putting it where the carnations are, and I'm bringing it like I did with this one. Oh, that one's split as well. Oh, good gracious me. Let me use another one. See, now I've just heard another van. baby. Right. That one is going in the centre. So you've got your white one white ranunculus there, the middle, then you go in middle, leave about a couple of inches, then place one, then another couple of inches, so they've got their own space. Because if you have them all clumped up, you know, I mean, some people would like that, you know, but on this arrangement, having it all clumped up is just too much. There we go. Just want to push it a little bit more. Oh, I can't. Let's just have a look. So that's what you have. Sorry if this video is taking long, guys, but with funeral flowers I can take all day on it. I just don't like to rush. I really don't. So now we've got our Fortunia. I just want to see what these... See, I think the top one would be too much. Let's have a look at something else. Oh, coffee. Oh, one moment. Oh, I did say the ranunculus, ruscus. So I'll get the ruscus. Let me just get this. Oh. Right. I don't know where my oddments are, so it looks like I'm going to end up getting probably one long stem. Oh, I bought two long stems. Never mind. So this is my long stem ranunculus, so where I buy it on long stems and just chop away at it for bits and bobs. This is brilliant for, like I say, when you're doing funerals. So what I'm going to do, I've got two on, just left two. These are going to be placed coming out from here. And also, if I just take that next one off, this is what I'm doing down here as well. I want to finish this off. I don't want it to look lonely. So I will either put one piece here and then here and then one here. So it's carrying on from this. So let's do this bottom bit first. Let's see what it looks like just with one. I don't think, no, that looks too lonely with one. So we're going to keep the two on. Lift up and move up your petals out of the way so you can see where you want to place it in the oasis. So that comes at the bottom there. So it's starting to put something alongside with this rose so it just doesn't look lonely. So we'll keep taking two off at a time. So there's just two little stems. Oh, my cat. Come on then. Come on. Where you been? I have just heard off of our Jordan that you've killed two mice and left them outside. Oh, you're wet. Left them outside my front door. Say hello to everybody. Yes, where you been? No, don't sit on here. They're not real. Big kiss. Oh, headbutt then. Yes, you've had some brekkie. He will try and get in the smallest little spots he can. Where you been? It's raining outside. You've been out all morning in the rain. Let me finish this. Let me finish this. Where's your blanket? Sit on your blanket, look. Let me just... I know. Sit on your blanket so you've got somewhere to dry yourself. Go on. You know it'll come back to me. Let me do this. Right, and I'm going to put this... Oh, here we go. At 10 past. On here as well. I think the glue's dry. Yeah, the glue's dry. You're wet. Go and dry yourself. You was fleed the other day, wasn't you? So again, I'm placing this in at 2 o'clock. No, yeah, 10 past. Or 2 o'clock, yeah. And then get in another one. Then this one will be at 10 o'clock or 10 to. I never thought of the o'clocks. I was always taught 10 past and 10 to, and let Mummy do this. Showing a lady, helping a lady. All right, all righty. Okie dokie, okie dokie. So that is how I could easily trim that, because that is going past. So I don't want that as that high. So I'll take it a little bit of it off so it brings it in. I think that one's okay. So that is it. We could easily put a bit of heather there, but I don't want to overload it. So that is just going to be really simple. Just with two things, is your ruscus and your rose. Nothing more, because that isn't the focal point, this is. So now I'm going to put some ruscus at the top. I'm still considering those ranunculus. Right, that one's a bit lonely by itself. Take that off. Oh, here we go. It isn't real. I'm just taking the ones what I haven't got nothing on, taking that off. So that's 1, 2, I may want 4, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, go and play. Get in the bed. Take this little bit. Play with that. So we've already got one that I've placed here. I'm going to just manoeuvre them so they don't just look upright. I'm going to give them a little bit of a bend in the stem to give it more of a natural look. Excuse me. So I'm going to just place that in there. I'm going to do that with all of them, give them a little bit of a bend. And do the same. It's like putting these in all 4 corners. I will show you, everybody, just like with it being flat, I need to see, I'm just lifting up so I can place them to fill it up. Oh, here the rain comes. I don't know where my other cat is either. And then another one in this corner as well. Now as I'm turning it, I've noticed there's a lot of green. A lot of green. As you can see, if I come up close, that's how I've placed things. You haven't just got to do your focal point, that you can bring it down and, you know, have it hanging down. That's the reason I've done this. Or if you don't want to do that, you can have a bow across there with the person's name, like dad or uncle, or, you know, his name may be Charlie, you know, anything really, and have the name printed on a ribbon going across. Because I've not, I have to order my ribbons with, if I want them printing. I haven't got a printing machine. So I think there's something missing. I need a little bit more white around all this blue. So do I now, there's this where I use the white from my heather. I'm not using the Fortunia. Oh, there's one missing off of there. Oh, I always seem to find one without one on. Right, let's have a look. I need to stand for this, everybody. Yes, one. Let's have another one. Two. 1, place 1 there, and then 1 there. I will show you where I'm placing them. Now, where's that? There's one here with just 2 on. And because that's under the ranunculus, let me just keep that one with 2 stems on there, so it's not in the way. Now I think that looks much better. And that is just placing it with the heather in. So we're going to get these put in. So again, I'm inserting everything into a diagonal position. I'm not going, you know, vertical. It's all being pushed in at a diagonal, and I've cut all my stems at 45-degree angle. So that makes it much easier to go into your oasis as well. That one. There. And then this one. Oh, I've pulled my rose out instead. Let's take the glue off and reposition it back in. Silly me. Put it in a different oil. And then put this one in there. We just needed white to break up all the green. Now, do I put one? I'll just take that one off. Place that. So it's carrying the look on down. I'm incorporating bits what we've got from the on the top down to the bottom, because I don't want it to look like I'm missing things out. So let me just move the carnation leaves, and I'm just having that sitting like that. Yes, much better. Right, so there we have it, guys. I will put felt on the back and I will glue it on. I don't want to add any more zip ties or tie wraps. So that is how I've done just a small, well in my eyes, it's small and basic, you know, because sometimes when I've got bigger crosses I can go really, really extravagant with it, you know, and really go wild. But that's the small, if I bring it round, the small but basic. And as you can see, we've got our heather and our light rubbery fern with the conifer, and there's our base. That's what we class it as, is a base. And your ribbon around, I've not covered the ribbon even with the florals because I don't go down the sides of here. So you can see the bottom where I've just added a bit of ruscus, the blue rose, and the bud from the ranunculus, and the bigger flower head on the ranunculus, and just a darker green fern with a bit of blue in it. And then you've got your white ranunculus here, and then again your roses, 12 o'clock, 10 to 1/4 past, and then your blossoms as well. And then that just keeps coming down, so it looks like your arrangement is flowing down from the top to the bottom. And again, like I say, you don't have to have these going off here. You can just have your arrangement at the top, just here, and then have ribbon going across there with the person's name on it. That's just how I've done it, because again, I've not got the ribbon to put a name on. So I've incorporated flowers, which also have been known to be done a lot of times. It's not just a one-off, that it's people do it like that as well. So that's what we've got, and I think that's beautiful. So I hope, Tina, my sweetheart, that has really helped you. I really do. It's joyous to do things like this, you know. I don't do them as often now now I'm doing artificial. I mean, I have, but I don't do them as often as I used to when I did fresh flowers. But never mind, I enjoyed every minute of it. And I know it's a long video, probably an hour and a half, 2 hours, but that's usually, apart from the chatting, but that's usually how long I tend to take to do things. You know, I go slow when it's funerals. I can go quick, especially with the coughing sprays, but you know, I do like to, you know, especially on this video, take my time so you yourself can grasp what I'm doing in, you know, slowly, instead of me rushing it for you and you're not catching what I'm doing. So I'm taking into consideration yourselves, you know, that you'd like to see what I'm doing. So I hope you enjoyed that, everybody. Again, like I say, I did. We have the any old iron guy comes around on his van daily and shouts, "Any old iron," and he does that. So people take all the scrap metal out and things to him, and he takes it away for you free. That's good, isn't it? So again, I hope you all enjoyed that. Please subscribe and share, and also share it to your friends and family, and like it as well. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the small little cross, the funeral cross. And Tina, let me know, darling, if I've helped you. So that's what we have today. So again, have a wonderful day, even though it's pouring it down here. Never mind, it is what you make it. So take care, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.